Okay, guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters qualifiers from the Korean region for the San Jose tournament. As we get into our second last series of the day, it's going to be Bbyong versus Gumiho in a TvT. So we're getting quite a variance of matchups today.
Yeah, I mean, StarCraft 2 is in pretty good shape right now overall. So we're seeing a lot of good balance between the races and who's doing well and who's not. And today is definitely a good showing of that.
All right, so let's get into it. First map is going to be on King Sejong Station, as we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner. It is our blue Terran. It is Gumiho. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Terran. It is Bbyong, who actually, if I recall, has been to an Intel Extreme Masters, right? Wasn't he?
He was in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, Sao Paulo. But he kind of disappointed. He didn't really get too far. Compared to where we were really pegging him to go. We were pegging him to go really far along with Hero, but in the end fell short a little bit.
Yeah, he lost versus A-Bomb.
Yeah, he did.
A-Bomb knocked him out to move through. Was the last time we saw Bbyong at Intel Extreme Masters. Gumiho has not played at an Intel Extreme Masters, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he hasn't.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's traveled to a couple of DreamHacks, and that's about it.
And had the booth fall on his head, I think, right?
That was in Pro League.
Yeah.
Was it Gumiho? Yes, it was.
That was
in Pro League.
The scariest thing I've ever seen in a StarCraft broadcast.
That was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for this series. This is a great series. Every game's been a great series. And it's really good to have all these games back-to-back as well. The schedule's been awesome today.
Yeah, it has.
Despite the difficulties early this morning. But it is Gumiho, who is currently without a team. If I'm not mistaken. He was on CJ Entus, but he doesn't have a team right now.
Yeah, I was racking my brain during the intro. I'm like, what team is he on again?
No, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have one, I don't think. And Bbyong is, of course, from CJ Entus. They both were former teammates for a little bit here. But Terran versus Terran is such a fun matchup, I think. It's so crazy. There's definitely annoyances with it. That you can get really frustrated at this matchup because the early game is so technically weird because of all these gas first builds, like the Banshee builds. You got Banshee versus Banshee, you got Raven versus Raven, you got Banshee versus Raven, you've got Widowmine Banshee versus Hellion Marine. Like there's all these different. So then that's not the aggressive builds coming in. You've got Reaper expand, 15 gas expand, 14 Banshee, 13 Banshee, like all these different types of builds. And on maps like Nimbus, you've got Command Center first, one Barracks Command Center. There are so many different builds, and they all act differently to each other, which means you get a lot of different outcomes depending on how the game plays out. So, like already, we have one of the differences between the gas first is we have a Reaper. Coming out. So you got one Marine into a Reaper, which is Bbyong's going to play more defensively, scouting-oriented, I would imagine, unless he sees an opportunity here. Usually you get the Reaper to see what your opponent's doing, and then you see he's doing what you're doing, and then you choose to go for like a Raven or something, which is obviously very good against Banshee openers.
But then in TvT in general, I mean, to exactly what you're saying, you get wild variance to the point where you can actually die off whilst your army is in the middle of the map, and then it's just like, well, I mean... okay, I guess I'm just dead. So there's these really odd situations.
And Doom drops. And there's a lot of variance in the matchup for sure. But we see Gumiho who's chosen not a second gas here. So he's gone gas first, single gas, which means it's like a Marine-focused opening. It should be a Medivac pretty fast. So like a Marine Hellion drop, elevator-style play, which is obviously very good. And then we should be seeing out a Banshee from Bbyong, who has been pushed back. And he hasn't got the scouting from his Reaper, and they both had the Hellion there. So this could still be anything in Bbyong's eyes. He's chosen a Viking, so it is going to be like a Viking Raven style. You can't afford the Raven straight away, and you want to get the Viking out to use a scan or your Marines to help out versus the Banshee first, and then get the Raven. But we do see commitment from Gumiho towards dropping no matter what's going on. So he's got to be very careful about not letting... easy wins or easy attacks. That's a nice pushback, and he sees the Medivac, I think, there.
He planned on taking an SCV with this army. Why is he taking an SCV with this army?
I don't know. I guess he builds a bunker somewhere.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, though.
He was moving out with that SCV to the Marines before he saw any movement out, so it's not like it was a defensive reason.
The Medivac's the biggest problem here because it heals the Marines. Oh, that's a good catch, though, from Bbyong. Great movement out.
Wow.
Brilliant catch.
those Hellions being taken care of instantly is great.
Brilliant.
And then the Viking can technically zone out the medevac for quite a while.
And there will be an auto turret from the Raven as well to help out. But there is a much faster expansion here from Gumiho, and he also has not been spotted with his medevac inside the main hit. I don't know why there's an SCV in this, to be honest.
Yeah, not why, but well, we'll find out. Maybe it like unloads and he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
but
and now it does get pushed back. He got one SCV there, I think.
Yeah, not too much though.
So it's another Viking, and it's more Hellions. And with a fast Raven, compared to Gumiho, who doesn't have one, there will be auto turrets available. There's one currently. There will be a second one soon, and already a movement out here. Bbyong has to do damage. There's no doubt. He has to do a lot of damage with this because of how fast the command center is. Viking has landed. 2 more Hellions are on the way, but currently the position is very good for Gumiho on that high ground, unless there's something spotting like the Viking or Raven. But 2 auto turrets do so much damage.
Yeah, they do. They also take away a lot. It takes ages for them to kill it.
A counter drop by Gumiho too.
Oh, wow. In the natural. But for now, we'll watch this as the Hellions trying to get good position, but Gumiho's auto turret
He's got to
really
lift the command center and get out of there. Like, you cannot defend that. That's very powerful.
Did he force the... Was that a cancel or a kill with this drop? Did he get the command center fully?
I don't know, I wasn't watching.
Well, whatever.
He's got a lot of money in the bank, so probably not.
Yeah, Bbyong just pushing forwards. But this is, again, it comes back to what you were saying before, the wild variance.
The counter drop is crazy, though, because it's he kept the command center alive, and he will push this back eventually. I know the auto turret does a lot of damage and has a lot of hit points, but he should be fine here. This should be Gumiho's game. He's got such an advantage with the Medivac still doing damage to the SCV line, and then the second command center.
He's actually losing a few SCVs to that auto turret. These Marines also going to town as well.
Doesn't matter. It's 25 to 14. Cloak Banshees is the only thing that can really drastically bring this game back for Bbyong. But there's scans and Vikings out. Or as long as he doesn't use Mule, that is.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what happens in Terran versus Terran. It's crazy. These openings are very frustrating. You'd be very annoyed if you were Bbyong, just the way that these play out. There's no really stable openers that you're safe against everything anymore. All
he has to do is shut down this Hellion harassment with the Banshee as well, and he should be fine.
Scan and turrets. And this is like where Bbyong says, I hate this game.
Unfortunately, he's going to be not too happy with this matchup. He's putting on some good pressure at the natural, and the Banshee technically is going uncontested right now, but it's not finding any position.
The Banshee can die now.
Yeah.
And then there's still a lot of Ravens. The command center on the natural should lift up. He doesn't want to lose it, obviously. And he's just building a lot of Hellions and to defend.
Viking decides not to lift up because he knows if he does, he'll just get blasted
the drop
out
is
of the
back
sky.
in again. This game's over.
Yeah, it's way too much.
Gumiho is playing very, very well again recently. It's good to see him advancing so far in this qualifier already. And having a look at his player list, he's beat Liquid Hero, Super, and the Taiwanese player Has on the way to playing Bbyong here.
Nice. Actually defeating Super is a pretty impressive result. Super's always been very much up there. And, well, but for now, Bbyong is trying to stabilize somehow, some way on 9 workers against 28. And a second command center. Everything is really not going Bbyong's way at all. How are you even supposed to recover?
You don't.
No, you don't.
This is a game where you are so far behind. What we should see soon, I imagine, is just a push from Gumiho. He's got much more money. He's building tanks already. He can continue to build Vikings to keep the air dominance to make sure his tanks do win this out, but he's in an awesome position.
Yeah. Oh, well.
The only way he loses is if he loses the air battle because of the 2 Banshees, but with a reactor on the Viking, reactor on the starport, it's never going to happen.
Yeah. The Vikings 3 against 3 shouldn't poke out too far for Gumiho because, of course, there is that Raven there for the point defense drone, and it would take up some of those shots. So that's, as you say, it's the only way he can really lose. But you look at this, he's even adding on a second starport, knowing that if he wins that war, he wins everything. And this is pretty much the final push for Bbyong, really. Yep.
There are 4 Hellions in a medevac which are not needed. There's a tank in here, which is difficult to kill with the Hellions. The Banshees are going to have to do that, but there's a turret and Vikings in supports. Gumiho knows, defend this, win the game, go on to map number 2.
Yeah, here comes a few auto turrets as well to try and bring down that siege tank. But there you go, GG. Gumiho takes game number 1 to start this series off.
Yeah, very good game. You know, it's these builds, it can really go either way.
Yeah.
You know, if... Let's say, because Bbyong caught the Hellions at the start, and if he'd kept track of where the medevac was, the medevac wouldn't have gone in, wouldn't have got a lot of SCV kills, and you know, it's really annoying the start of this matchup for sure for a lot of players. But it is Gumiho who just had the better start there.
Yeah. So, I mean, depending on what map we see next, I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw gas first versus gas first. Gumiho, crisis management-wise there, and the opportunity for counterattack was really, really powerful. He was doing so well against Bbyong. Bbyong really didn't get any breaks, though, there at all. Even the Cloak Banshee later on delayed that tried to, bring out 3 scans, of course, but by that time he was already down so much in terms of economy, so tough.
All right, Gumiho's just asking for a quick second before we jump into the second game,
okay.
And then we'll be able to continue on. But depending on the map, really depends on what openers we see, because maps like Nimbus, you can go Command Center first on because of the pocket expansion. Dead Wing is such a big map as well. You could try to get away with it there, but still gas first pretty dominant. I personally, right now, am trying only 15 gas builds.
Okay.
I want to play as many games as possible with 15 gas to really see the variance that 15 gas can have. So I've played a lot against Reaper expansions, gas first, you name it. It's pretty decent. Gas first do get tricky, though, because of how fast it hits, and what to expect is hard to know sometimes as well. I
think the idea of what you're doing, though, just playing with the 15 gas, is kind of a good way to look at it, because a lot of gas first builds, I mean, almost every single gas first build's kind of been figured out, right? And people want to find the way to transition better in a more defensively minded posture to then have advantages later on. So
yeah, the problem with the like 15 gas builds, a more defensive setup, is that you can get hit by a Banshee tank marine push out, which you don't have enough to defend with. You've got to pull SCVs. Hellions are good, but they're not that good. So it does become very tricky. And to be honest, a lot of the fights, as much variance as there is, they come down to very small details. Fire of a Hellion cost the game or something like this.
All right. Well, next map is going to be Nimbus.
Oh, it is, yes. So you've got your English, haven't you?
Yeah.
So this is where we can actually see Command Center first builds. Proxy Marauder builds to capitalize on Command Center first builds. So this actually is a pretty interesting map because of how you can open up economy focus, but also how you can counter that. And more importantly, the natural location is so exploitable here for drops and so on.
We see a lot of that. You have been playing for 1 hour and 28 minutes. How long?
1 hour 30. I started 2 minutes before you.
Excessive gameplay.
That was after our power cut.
Oh, that's true. That is true. So I guess we've been playing for longer than that, but oh well. All right, let's get into it. Game number 2, spawning up to the top left-hand corner. Apparently teamless at the moment. It is Gumiho as our blue Terran. And the bottom left-hand corner, getting the bit of a kick in the butt when it comes to spawning positions. It is Bbyong. So that natural is always kind of a weak spot for Bbyong if this game goes a little bit longer.
Yeah, which it should most of the times here, and it is a big, big focus point. I mean, it is for both players, but more so for Bbyong because it's basically facing Gumiho's third base, so it's a very easy pick-up, 1 boost, and you're in his natural. And sometimes, as good as turrets can be, they also cannot be good because 1 or 2 turrets won't stop 5, 6 medivacs dropping in an entire army, and then it's very, very difficult to stop that position. But already with a supply depot around the natural, or around the main base, they're not looking to wall in, which suggests that they're not looking to hide anything, right? Because you can wall in with a supply depot and a barracks. So they're both like, whatever.
Oh, jeez.
Whatever the map is, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go gas first.
It's truly the TvT meta. And just making sure that they can keep themselves sturdy or be the aggressor themselves. Everyone always wants to seize the initiative by the looks of things, or anticipate their opponent seizing the initiative and just make a Viking pretty early. So let's see what is going to occur from both these players. Gumiho played his aggression really nicely, though. I really liked the drop, and he was always threatening with it, which is the really cool thing.
To be honest, I really think Bbyong's style can work as long as you're keeping track of where the medivac is at all times.
True.
And then you can build up, because you wouldn't take losses, you can build up a little bit better to hit your Raven attack harder as well. Like I said, there's a lot of variance. It can really go anyway.
Yeah.
But the way it went was unfortunate for Bbyong.
Well, overall, there's still the opportunity even for these players. You mentioned it before from the gas opening first, of not even bothering with a command center, going for something like that Banshee tank marine play that can be pretty scary. On a map like this with a ramp here, it's a little bit more difficult to make work because if your opponent just takes the natural in the back, then what you're really doing, all you have to hold is that front. But yeah,
So they're just kind of waiting to see which way they go. Second gas or non-second gas.
Ooh. Bbyong opted.
Yeah, Bbyong's opening up similar again. So this time he could be dedicating to a Banshee. Or he could obviously be going similar again to a Viking Raven, more defensive. He has chosen a Reaper, so that does show a slight sign of more wanting to know what's up to react, which does push him more defensive. And Gumiho has just opened up the same again here. So it looks like we are seeing the both builds play against each other one more time. So, you know, as much as the builds are identical, and in other matchups you have the same results happen over, this could end completely the other way this time. Bbyong could smash this one and take a massive lead.
I wonder if he brings the SCV again.
Yeah, if he does, then I'm
I mean, it was repairing
baffled.
the medevac at one point. So,
yeah.
But maybe it's part of his build. If he feels that he wants to get out there early and didn't have enough Marines to fill a medevac, could be effective. To keep it for alive for a little bit longer. But anyway, Tech Lab's going down here on this barracks to switch out with the starport, so he's going up too quickly.
Who fires first wins. It's identical.
Yeah.
TKO.
Okay, I think it's Bbyong's advantage,
Yeah, because Gumiho ran.
Yeah.
All right, so Viking, and then a switch up into Raven again by Bbyong, but exactly the same again. Okay,
so he's here to repair a Hellion. Is he going to go along for the ride? I don't.
But they both know where each other are, by the way.
Yeah, they do.
A reactor on the barracks, so we can pump out Hellions very shortly, switch up with the barracks. Hellions are the ultimate defense, the ultimate unit in the early game of Terran versus Terran. Gumiho not sure 100%, but he is now, as he's still scouting to the bottom right. And here, this is the load up. Is the SCV in it? Nope.
No, he got left.
All right, so... Oh, where are these? The 3 Hellions, and Reaper beats 3 Hellions.
Yes, it does. That shot off was actually not too bad there for Gumiho to start things off, but at the same time, the Marines coming in as well. They're trying to do some damage.
It is a win for Bbyong there. 2 Hellions left. He lost the Reaper, but whatever. Viking here.
Bbyong opening with the Raven straight too after the Viking, so that Viking could really cause us a problem. The SCV came back! No. He's here!
No.
He tanks a little bit. Look at him pushing back those Hellions like a boss.
Doing so much damage here.
Yeah. There's all the SCV, trust me.
Get rid of the medevac. Oh, SCV's dying is bad news.
Yeah, very bad news.
Pull back, he's got to pull the SCV back.
And 5 workers already killed off. And he's going to lose extra Marines. He might even lose this Viking if he's not careful.
Oh, yeah, Hellion's going for more kills too.
Yeah, so pulling that away. 7,
8 kills, 17 and 25, and Gumiho comes out in a different way, but in a lead again.
Yeah. How does he do it? He's brilliant.
And then another Viking coming in. Which means the Ravens in a bit of trouble, but there are a couple of Marines in support.
Yeah.
And Gumiho playing extra safe here in case of a Banshee follow-up, which can be likely a lot. He's gotten an engineering bay before he expanded, and a second gas too. So the second gas means he can go over to a Raven himself. The auto turrets, they are so very, very, very valuable if he wants to go, well, usually you do go for that. He could start tank production. Tanks are very good against Hellions, and as we saw previously, did a lot of damage. I wonder if he starts a tank.
Yeah, but also he can poke up here and see the fact that the natural is way later than his, which is a nice spot here for Gumiho. He's just playing out TvT really, really well.
And he could even land the Vikings fast to kill the SCV to delay this.
Yeah,
he's on the hunt for the Raven and Vikings, but he's got to be careful because he actually loses this one.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Especially if he wants to commit to like a PDD.
Bbyong's coming from behind here to get his retreat path off.
Yeah, he's going to take a big volley there to start things off. Actually, no focus fire from either player during that. They just wanted to prioritize the movement.
The point defense drone went down. He didn't need it.
Yeah.
And that's a waste of 75 energy. It's a lot.
Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Bbyong is
100 energy, sorry.
Gearing up, just throwing plenty of his SCVs over onto the natural now, so he'll be nicely saturated just a little bit before Bbyong will be.
And an extended lead here, 9 SCVs.
That's really, really good for him.
Tank
really
Marine out already, an extra barracks coming in, and very shortly I would imagine that medevac production won't be too far off here. And that focus point, as we've got into the mid-game, is going to be around Bbyong's natural. A big Tank Marine drop.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge.
So aside from maybe like Gumiho just going straight for Doom Drop and just killing his opponent outright, what do you think Bbyong can really do here?
He's playing mech, and he's going for Blue Flame Hellions here and Vikings. So he most likely will have to throw down a 3rd command center shortly because he's that far behind.
He's losing all these Hellions for just a few Marines.
He may just die to this push, to be honest, because he's not. You need Blue Flame to be able to deal with this. He's trying to maximize as much damage with these Hellions as he can on the way out, but tank Viking Marine here without Blue Flame.
He's got very few units, to be honest, as Bbyong.
The 100 energy was missing from the Raven, so he's missing his 3 auto turrets, his defense here as well.
He's going to have to... he really wanted to get a lot of kills with these Hellions, and he hasn't done too bad, but the Siege Tank zoned them out.
He's had to build a tank here instead of continuing Hellion and Blue Flame, because obviously this push is here.
Yeah.
He needs another... He kind of needs to keep air control.
Auto turret actually goes down, and he realizes it... Gumiho realizes he doesn't have the Viking numbers to keep on with this, so... Both Vikings actually.
But he's got air control, so he should be able to push this back slowly here, hopefully.
Yeah. His Siege Tank took a big volley there, but...
Yeah, he's going to break these 2 tanks, or the Vikings are in an awkward position.
But actually losing... He's going to push him back because he just didn't have the air superiority, right? That Siege Tank could have taken a lot of damage from the back, but it didn't. He's going to chase this away as well.
Good defense.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep the Raven alive.
Ooh,
no. Almost. Almost. Nice defense. Very nice there by Bbyong. And he's actually on the counter now, but hopefully a defensive tank should be enough.
That would have been the cherry on the cake if he was able to keep that Raven alive, but in the end, you know, tit for tat, as he's going to be able to stabilize at home. He didn't have to sacrifice any SCVs in that. Here's the Siege Tank now in defense, and Bbyong is going a bit further than I was anticipating. Yeah,
he really wanted that tank. Couldn't get it though, but now Bbyong goes back to what he had planned originally, which was the 3rd command center, the Blue Flame, the +1 attack, and he's going to be playing mech this game. So when you play mech here, you just have to slow the game down to your pace. So he's going to be sitting tight on 2 bases. He will want to throw down very shortly, probably an extra 3 factories, but his gas is on the natural a little bit late here. He's got a lot of minerals to gas. He's actually messed that up a little bit in the defense because he was so focused.
And you know what's nice off the back of that attack as well is that because Bbyong has now so many Vikings left over, he's being able to protect his top left base really, really well. I mean, of course, you know, drops are going to come on a little bit later, but it's... It's really well defended at the moment.
And we actually see Bbyong now going for a couple medivacs, 2 medivacs. He's going to drop Blue Flame Hellbats into the mineral lines to try and get extra damage. He's focusing very heavily on Hellions too. He's throwing down another reactor on that barrack, so he's going to go 2 factory reactor, which is obviously a lot of Blue Flame and Hellbats, while tank's out of 1. He's only on 3 factories and does need more shortly, which he will add on shortly. An engineering bay is coming in for turrets on that natural to make sure he's defended. So it is a defensive game, yet still counter-attacky from Bbyong because of his Hellbats, whereas Gumiho is just going to power up. So 3rd base has to be taken, 2nd engineering bay and armory quite fast because his engineering bays are late in this game, which he actually is adding in his 2nd engineering bay. Take the 3rd instantly, take a fast 4th, and Doom drop this natural if you can. Doom drops are crucial versus mech.
Yeah, Gumiho got a lot of good intel at the front there. I mean, he knew he was pretty much playing against mech anyway because of the setup, but seeing the Blue Flame, seeing the Hellbats, and the drop.
Yeah, these drops are going to be huge. Gumiho's not really ready.
There's no missile turret at this main. There are at the natural, but, I mean, this one alone is going to get so many kills. Look, Gumiho hasn't reacted. 12 kills already. Wow.
He's trying to squeeze in the other one as well.
No. Denied.
And there's 2 tanks, and I'm not sure if enough Hellbats. Stim is going to be done in 4 seconds. Why don't you wait 4 seconds?
Okay.
Stim is done now, right at the end.
Those 2 siege tanks at the back have gone completely uncontested. The Hellbats as well as the Vikings landing. That pushes it away
Good defense, and Hellbats still doing damage.
Oh, geez. 18 workers, and there's so many weak. If he just gets another shot somehow.
This is a great game for Bbyong now. He's in such a lead.
Oh, he's trying to go for the suicide push, and gets a few more. 23 worker kills overall, so 54 to 47 in favor of Bbyong, and that's going to die.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Very, very good lead here for Bbyong. He'll throw down more factories now. He's got some breathing time and money in the bank, and just go to +2. He should throw in a 4th command center actually now too. Or will do very shortly, I guess. Maybe some turrets first, I suppose. But very shortly, he'll throw in a 4th command center. The sensor tower to protect that danger zone of his 2nd base.
So back and forth, but Bbyong with a really nice little lead.
Very far ahead in this game. Very, very far ahead.
Even setting himself up a sensor tower on this natural, knowing that that's the biggest point of contention. That's where Gumiho is going to try and seize back.
Oh, his Hellbats may drop on the drop of the drop.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
That wasn't intended, but it'll work.
The sickest defense. Wow, nice. Okay, so trying to get a few kills here and there. But in the end, this should be cleaned up. Okay. Whatever works. What do we have going on? Okay, so he's actually caught back up in terms of workers as Gumiho, and but these drops that he keeps trying to make work, it's going to be difficult because there's already siege tanks at the third base. The missile turrets are now there as well as the sense tower at the natural. This wall that Bbyong has basically set up is very, very difficult to break. Is that a missile turret? I thought, okay.
Yeah, just spotting.
Yeah.
Like spotting pylons with Protoss.
So plenty of extra Hellbats and tanks on the way here.
So at this point, you as mech, you want to move out when you have enough army to move out with, but also be defensive with. So that's obviously just a high supply.
Oh, in Gumiho's position, what's the answer here? Is the answer try and seize back air dominance and go for something like Banshees?
You got to do something nuts.
Yeah.
So it's either an air switch or a doom drop. Standard play will lose you this game.
Yeah.
He has to do something nuts very soon. Otherwise, he's going to fall behind drastically. I mean, he already is behind.
Who's that scan from? Oh,
from
okay.
Gumiho. He looks at the army and is like, I can't beat that. And then likewise, actually, no, it's just 2 scans from Gumiho.
No. The other scan was from Bbyong. He dropped on the army and saw a little bit of it.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what the move is here from Gumiho, to be honest. He hasn't really made a decisive one. He's stuck on 1-1 upgrades. Unless it...
Oh, okay, that's a lot of Hellbats loaded up for the fight.
Yeah,
he knows it's going to be coming soon.
One fight. This is so one-sided. I'm trying to think of how Gumiho can win this or get back into this.
I mean, the upgrades for Gumiho is like 1-1,
I mean,
and then nothing
he's
else.
building up lots of Vikings at home, so maybe...
It's got to be the air switch, hasn't it, surely, or something? Or the air dominance, at least. Because there's technically no anti-air in Bbyong's setup, aside from a few Vikings.
These Vikings, for Gumiho out of position on the other side of the map, Bbyong's just going to drop and kill this army.
Yeah. This is a great setup for him, but actually he took a lot of losses there.
Yeah, so maybe this tank line's a little bit too good there at the front.
It was well positioned, that's for sure.
Vikings are here now, so they'll push back the Hellbat. So Gumiho's got to back off here. This is obviously now not good. And Gumiho's stepping forward.
Gumiho is, I mean...
Well, this has turned a bit weird, actually. I thought that was going to be good for Bbyong, and so did he. And now it's actually become a very awkward fight.
Well, he took so much free damage, right? He's actually pushing forwards before these tanks have really sieged up. Has to pull back there, but he pulls back at a good time. And might take a volley to some of those Hellbats. Yeah, he takes a few. But look, he has the Viking advantage.
Yeah, it's really surprising.
What
and now
going
Thor's
on?
been added in, Vikings been added. I suppose those Vikings were the kind of way for Gumiho in. I didn't think it'd be so simple as just Vikings, but they've stopped the Hellbat drops, but they won't stop. Uh-oh, big drop from Gumiho.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where's he going to go? Is he going straight into the main? It looks like he is. He's... Oh, wow. Well, this is cool, because if he does, and then he forces that entire army back, he can just push into the siege tanks.
You have to boost on this army.
Okay, he's dropping a lot of the Hellbats from those medevacs right on... Well, he didn't actually unload the majority of them.
Tanks are a little bit exposed right now.
Yeah, so he's going to try and exploit that. That's a perfect move here by Gumiho. His other army was way out of position. There's so many Hellbats, but they're not doing a thing. And he gets all of those siege tanks, for the most part.
And Thor's coming in is helping out a lot now, though. 2 tanks do remain, 3 tanks remain defensively, so...
Yeah, not having a Thor before was really kind of hurting him a lot to sort out this.
Whew, rocky a little bit here. There's even a Thor stuck
position.
for Bbyong inside his main base. A bad position on his factories.
Oh.
Pick up and help that guy.
Poor little fella. But this gave him so much room to set up this 4th base.
Yeah, he's got 4th base up, 2-2 finishing up, 3-3 going to be on the way soon.
Look at his army as well. It's been macroed up and good to go. He's getting that 2-2 done, and then, I mean, the +3 weapons for the mech is fantastic. But if he keeps like, the thing is that once the engagement comes, the Hellbats, if they just kind of get stimmed back and forth against by the bio.
Look at this. The Hellbats tanking for everything.
Did he actually lift up a Thor there and just went straight forward? But this is a beautiful concave by Gumiho. The Hellbats on the left-hand side really need to clean through that, but at the same time, the bio got on the right-hand side towards some of those siege tanks. Repair there from Bbyong, and these guys should have easier names to say.
Jeez. And it is Bbyong who's going to hold and take his 4th while doing this, but he's hurting a lot in supply, so he's actually got to rebuild a lot. And obviously, you don't want to be this far behind in supply. I suppose he lost quite a few SCVs in that as well. Low supply is better for Gumiho.
That was crazy.
Time to rebuild up.
All right, well, this has still bought Gumiho a little bit of time to get that 3-3 on the way. He is mining from that 4th base. 4th base over here from Bbyong actually could kind of be vulnerable if Gumiho decides to hit 2 locations at the same time, because he has the mobility advantage at least.
An extra command center is good for scans there for Bbyong. But Gumiho's climbing up into play again. This is not good because obviously a low supply mech player is going to have a hard time defending all areas.
Yeah, I feel like Gumiho's kind of doing really well here.
But
really well.
4 tanks and Hellbats on the right and then his reinforcements on the left should be good enough, I think, here.
How much does he know about that? He sees 2, 3
planetary
tanks
as well. So despite not having a lot of units, Bbyong is still defended well.
But this is where he should try and do something on another location, right? But I guess he just didn't have the forces right now to do it.
Yeah, I think maybe a Doom drop towards the natural is a good time now.
Yeah. Those like 3 missile turrets aren't going to do much,
yeah,
right?
4 or 5 medivacs worth of bio here just to drop it on would be great. I think this would be the right time.
Yeah, almost the entirety of this mech force is protecting this mining base, along with maybe the 3rd in the middle.
Yeah. So right now, Bbyong is safe on the ground, pretty much. He does need, he's got a lot of tanks, but he does need probably more Hellbats in the mix to support this. But where is Gumiho? Is he going to try and assault this? It's not wise.
Yeah, I think he is going to. This is almost a sign of impatience in my mind.
But there is one drop with 8 Marines going towards a 3rd in a grey area.
Ooh. It's sneaking just against this watchtower.
Yeah, and he can drop and stim the 8 Marines here.
Yeah. This is a little bit as these guys try and
yeah, this
push.
is nice. He actually gets in behind enemy lines, which is not very normal here.
Yeah.
It's a good move from Gumiho.
Yeah, it's a really unexpected angle, actually, of all ways to take this.
And maybe this pulls Bbyong out of position somewhere. But
he got so many workers. He's up to 34 worker kills.
Yeah, but you also, the less SCVs you have as a meching player, it comes in your favor the longer the game goes on.
True,
because you've got orbitals for money. Well, kinda, I suppose. And then all you care about is the gas income SCVs. You just need probably another orbital and soon 5th base, which will be, I imagine, the forward base in this game.
And Gumiho is looking to transition his way now. His army supply is pretty much, well, it was dead even, but Bbyong has rocketed up just a little bit further as well. And it looks like he's actually going to take a fight here.
Right before 3-3.
Yeah, this is the perfect time for Bbyong to actually take this fight. Those Hellbats on the left-hand side, excuse me, have been able to do a lot of damage to those tanks, and Gumiho might have to retreat back.
Yeah, he's going to switch into air now. He should have enough time, I suppose, to build up the air. I don't think Bbyong's going to push anytime soon.
Well, they could keep threatening, right, with drops, and that'll keep the mech back for a little bit. Because Bbyong really doesn't want to be pushing without max.
Yeah, it's only 4 Vikings and 5th and 6th on the way for Bbyong, so...
I think he's going to be slowly edging towards him.
Yeah. I suppose he is going to go for this now, actually. He's got no really intentions to defend anywhere.
If this doesn't kill outright, I mean, what are the repercussions here?
Well, he loses to the air switch.
Yeah. All right, well, it looks like he pokes in just a little bit. This is still a really good setup for Bbyong, but at the same time, you cannot, as Gumiho, walk forwards.
So Bbyong needs to split his army up in 50-50. Keep 50 there, and then edge another 50 forward, because he cuts off this 4th base.
Yeah. And then he could just send like a tank or 2 up there and start doing some damage. But at the same time now...
But Gumiho's not making the switch. He's feeling pressured to build units here.
Look how much damage Bbyong has done to Gumiho's army, though. Overall, the army supply for Bbyong is massive.
He's cut off the 4th base now.
Yeah, those siege tanks on there really, really hurts him. And Gumiho is pressured. He is starving, trying to push out with a lot of this bio, but as it moves forwards, it just gets ripped to pieces. Good initiative by Bbyong overall.
And this is a good push from Gumiho. Just rallying units over there. He's got his opponent in great position. He's going to set up a siege.
There you go.
It's already over.
GG.
GG.
Wow, the stranglehold, man. That was a little bit brutal at the end.
Yeah.
Gumiho didn't really have too much answers for that. So all his bio gets disintegrated and Bbyong ties up the series. Do we know yet which our final series is going to be? Do you know?
I think Jaedong and Fantasy are maybe playing.
Still? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the admins are discussing if we can jump into that after, apparently, to continue on, but it's an ongoing discussion whether Jaedong and Fantasy are willing to wait.
Stats JD. It says that. So maybe...
No, when it's finished, I think that guy means.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so...
Oop, let me get into this so they don't stop.
The 3rd map here
is, I'll tell you, unless you can read
translation.
Korean. It's Overgrowth.
Okay, no, I can't.
No.
So Overgrowth here. So far we've seen gas first versus the 1 gas opener. Both times Gumiho successful with it. By gaining a slight lead and then carrying it from there. I wonder if we see that again.
With Bbyong taking double gas.
I think
and then
Gumiho might do it again. Maybe Bbyong switches it up because Gumiho's getting success 2 games in a row, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Bbyong's not. Yeah. So maybe Bbyong needs to switch up now. But this map, definitely very good. Obviously, again, for gas first here. Could play maybe, you know, a Reaper expansion, 15 gas, maybe some of these.
Well,
I don't know.
Let's find out. As we have, spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, it is Gumiho. And up to the top right, it's our red Terran. It is Bbyong. And again, casting engagements with his name is actually horrible. So I'm just going to call him Bbyong, man.
Yeah, just do that.
Screw the first B.
Bbyong.
Okay. So I can't see anything other than the gas opener normally. Like, I really... Wait a minute. Why is that SCV moving out that far?
It's going to be a proxy.
So are we thinking Marauders?
Yeah, Marauders pretty strong.
Mm-hmm. Do like some Marauders. Mr. MMA doing this against 4GG during the round of 8 in WCS Europe. Or something very similar, at least. Oh, wow. It's an interesting location, actually. I wasn't expecting it there. I thought it was going to put it behind the mineral line, but up here is cool.
All right, so with an 8-8 could be Reaper still. I mean, you get 25 gas roughly when the barracks completes, which could be for the tech lab and then Marauders, or it could wait a little bit here and then build the...
Where's he going? Scouts in his main, and that's it.
Yeah.
Not anything else.
And it could be, as mentioned, the Reaper, so...
Yeah. Sometimes in TvT, again, scouting down here important because you can have situations where people actually do make that barracks in your main, and then it's a little bit scary. But in this case, that is not to be. Gumiho playing a little bit shifty. And this SCV, are you going to see anything? He's going to the natural.
Oh, the SCV gave it away.
Oh, you traitor.
You backstabber. So it is going to be a Reaper. And obviously with the gas first here, the barracks is late. This is going to be a nuisance. And he kind of... The thing is, he's going to build a Marine. You have to build a Marine, and you have to add the factory. The factory, the Hellion is where you defend it, but one Marine is going to be out later than the Reaper here, so he's got to do some hella dancing with these SCVs. He's got to buy so much time.
And then there's potential of a second Reaper, right?
Yeah, oh, there will be.
Yeah, so it just keeps going, and they heal if they pull back, and it gets ugly. Very ugly.
This is nasty. If he gets surrounded by SCVs, I'm going to scream.
Yeah. Okay. SCV. Oh, SCV was a king. Did you see that?
Yeah. Good to get rid of the one Marine. If he gets the 2 Marines, that becomes a problem. Great repair there.
Yeah.
But he switches his target up.
Just going for a different one.
Another Marine's almost out.
Second Reaper's almost out as well, though.
Yeah. 2 Reapers against a Marine. Scary business.
He does.
He does need a Hellion, but the 3 Reapers against Hellion, and Hellion dies instantly almost.
Oh!
Dude, that was half a screen.
No! Oh, no!
Oh, that was half a screen too.
Okay, okay. Where's the Marine gone? Okay, he's there.
This is intensity. I mean, okay, there's a Marine, but there's a second Marine now. He mustn't lose a Reaper. If he loses the Reaper, he loses momentum.
And he can't let the Marine numbers get too high either. I mean, with the Hellion out and 2 Marines, I think this is kind of over.
Well, there's also, I mean, 3 Reapers is pretty... With good micro, it can still take down these units. There is a factory follow-up already for Gumiho.
If he keeps an SCV or 2 with this army, though, there's 3 Marines and Hellion now. Yeah, he's pretty much given up.
Yeah. And it is...
Whoop. High ground vision. Ooh.
Nice micro. Jabs in there.
Yeah.
Starport on the way. There is going to be a follow-up counter drop from Bbyong. Should see a medivac with Marine Hellion drop from Bbyong to counter whatever's on the other side of the map, which is not
overall, I mean, Bbyong knows that barracks is just dead weight right now and isn't making anything. So how many units can Gumiho really have? Well,
he's trying to squeeze out a reactor to get some Hellions on the go, and then obviously a Viking, but he's had to build a bunker.
Yeah, he needs
But this is probably going to be dropped in the main base, so... Good defense from Bbyong, though, not to take too much losses. He did lose quite a bit, 3 workers, but really good repair on the workers that kept them alive for the majority. The front will be defended by Gumiho, obviously with the bunker. But he goes in and scouts the starport and single gas, so he knows the medevac is going to be on the way. So he also knows he's got to defend at the back. So Hellions must be made 2 by 2 with the Reapers to defend this.
It feels as if he almost needs to greet the units as they're landing.
Yeah, and with the second gas, he can really counterattack smartly, Gumiho. So he needs to be planning a couple of moves ahead as well. So maybe because, well, the barracks kind of sucks being on the other side of the map, so you can't actually add on a tech lab on anything here. Maybe one Viking, then straight to tech lab, and then think about going Banshee himself.
Yeah, maybe.
Then expansion or something like this.
That'd be nice. But again, all that production does take away from the idea of actually having units.
SCV coming out to hopefully repair that barracks so he doesn't have to rebuild it. That would suck.
Yeah, that's really good. It's got not very long. It will get there,
I think 4 Hellions and 3 Reapers might be enough. He may have to use some SCVs here. But a Viking coming in is a great add-on, great mix.
Clutch! Oh, it was on 5 health. That was so good.
All right, this is going to be a massive defense. He mustn't. If he catches the Marines 1 by 1, this is awesome. Must not let them plant individually.
The wall's so important as well. No, he can't do this.
And it should be a Banshee follow-up, I think. Oh, no, okay, Raven. I mean, they both work. Raven for auto turret follow-up or Banshee follow-up.
Hellions from the high ground getting some shots on these Marines.
Yeah,
nice.
good defense by Gumiho.
Yeah. The wall just in general makes it very, very difficult to do anything because, like, what are the Hellions going to do?
And he's at chase now as well. Get out of there because there's more Hellions than you have.
And because it's Reapers, this army is pretty mobile. So he's just getting everything.
And by the looks of it, we do have tanks and Vikings already from Bbyong, so he's actually committing quite heavily to one base.
Ooh, interesting. And this is a good map for it normally if you can actually establish a position, but at the same time, you've got to deal with the counter.
Gumiho's going to add on a second factory. Well, he should expand. Well, I don't know, actually.
That siege tank puts an end to this. Ooh, okay, he's going to take a free volley.
Yeah. And then I think you have to expand from this. Expand because your opponent is obviously on one base, then second factory time. Second Raven? No!
Second Raven?
No.
Are you having a laugh?
Gummy who?
Gumiho.
Gumiho.
That's so sick.
Second Raven.
It would be the most amazing thing after
so
for like second Raven mistake ? And he's like, yes. But
second Raven, then over to the second factory. Oh, I want to rub myself.
Imagine all the auto turrets. It's like a fleet. This is going to be great.
Yeah, this is very powerful. Auto turrets are so strong.
Barracks flies back in. It's repaired. He's like, I thought I dealt with you. But anyway, so this is a strong army for Bbyong himself, of course. Let's not disregard this. 2 tanks are in here with those 10 Marines as well. 14 Marines actually now, but the Hellions really need to get a good engagement on those Marines before... The Hellions need to get a good engagement on those Marines before they really do anything. And they do actually get a few pot shots off to start this. And it's all delaying, you know, in the end. All delaying those siege tanks from getting their ideal location. Another volley from the high ground. Extra Hellions move in. Where's the second Raven? There it is. But the siege tanks are going to creep forward slowly here. Hellions actually did a lot of damage to those Marines before, and the auto turrets drop to actually try and clean this up. With the Hellions on top of these siege tanks now as well. But the siege tanks have too much firepower in the end. Overwhelm.
Yeah, this is a... Double Raven, come on, man.
Come on, Double Raven. Do your job. The auto turrets weren't quite as fantastic as we were hoping they would be, I'll be honest.
Unfortunately, this has become a bit of a sticky situation.
Yeah, those 2 siege tanks provide ample firepower to keep Gumiho really on the back foot. And he's losing supply depots. If he loses these 2 at the front, he's going to be supply blocked. Which makes it hard because his 1 siege tank, that's going to be the only one he has. Actually dropping supply himself to try and get out of this. But that siege tank on the high ground makes this all the harder. Gumiho is really in a tight bind. He's going to lose his Blue Flame Hellion. He's going to lose all production on these factories. Anything that pops out, he could actually work at.
This is a very difficult thing to stop now.
Yeah.
These 3 tanks in this kind of position. 2 factories being eliminated while behind this, Bbyong is expanding.
Yeah.
And, you know, got a lot of economy. He's adding on more production. This has gone from looking, you know, okay to what the hell has happened?
Come on, Ravens. Do it. The auto turret's actually going to push this away.
Yeah, he takes a lot of losses, but he is going to push it back for now. Well done, the Double Ravens.
Good job, guys.
And he has pushed this back, and now with high grounds and air control, he can edge this back easily. Is there a scan available? Yes, there is, so be careful.
Look at the siege tank covering the other siege tank's retreat, but then the auto turret, because of so much energy on the Ravens.
Yeah, 1 tank loses its life, but he can re-expand now, and, you know, the game's going to go on. A beautiful set of display of fights there by both.
Not sure where you're going, guys, but that was a bit sad.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we have? The calm, the calm has come in this storm. And we now have the cloak on the way for Gumiho, who's looking to go on the counter-offensive. And he sees the third command center, which is nice for him at least. And he also had his third command center on the way anyway. But this gives him now opportunity with the Tech Lab back up to start the Blue Flame Hellion again that was shut down by that push from Gumiho. But, sorry, from Bbyong. But in the end, Gumiho's crisis management, considering the position he was in, I thought he was just going to die right there. So that was nicely done overall.
All right. Sorry, I've been speaking to the admins about this cup, but never mind.
Okay.
All right. Just to update people, Jaedong did beat Fantasy.
Okay.
2 games
So
to
it's
0.
Jaedong versus Stats next.
Yes.
As our last game of the night.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'll talk about that after.
Okay, okay.
All right. All right, so let me get back into my head into this game. Sorry, I was trying to do some organization.
I got you covered, man. It's okay.
All right, so it's 2 base Bbyong, Gumiho, 3 base coming in for Gumiho, Blue Flame, 2 factories versus a hell of a lot of stuff here by the looks of it for Bbyong.
Yeah.
It's my fast analysis of the game, guys. That's a lot of barracks. That's a lot of production, and that's a lot of units. The thing is, though, that Gumiho has to sit tight now playing the mech player on these 2 bases. It's good to have this Banshee that's snuck in there, getting a bit of damage.
I wish you could get the siege tank. I mean, yeah, killing SCVs is nice, but getting a siege tank would be super sick. Although you would just pick it up and down and pick it up and down with the medevacs, so it's a little bit
yeah, that's true.
A bit rubbish.
Imagine if he was doing that with the SCVs.
Yeah. Oh, go. Come on, Bbyong. Pick it up. Don't just heal.
He's waiting for some anti-air. He's like, where the hell are my Marines?
Oh, he could have picked him up. It would have been super awesome.
But this is the position you usually want to get as the bio player versus the mech player is a siege position on your meching player's 3rd. Or any base. The 4th is good too, but in this scenario, of course, on 2 base, it's the 3rd. Have a couple units left over because it's always the meching player being defensive. It's just, can he get that type of position in this game? Because if he can, then he's in really good shape if he can slow the income down of the meching player, who is still only on 2 factories, and he's about to take his 3rd. And just 4 tanks with a couple of the Hellions is not a lot to defend multiple locations.
Another Banshee going ham, and needs to get out of scan range. But in the end, the one major thing of Terran versus Terran is obviously always air dominance. And actually, you know, whilst we were messing around partially with the 2 Ravens later on, as much as they were cool at the beginning, and yes, they are still cool now because double point defense drone against something like to deal with Viking shots is going to be good. But also one thing you have to consider from Gumiho's side of things is that Marauders will soak up those shots as well. So those auto turrets will dissipate the point defense drones will dissipate very fast. Even though he has a lot of energy saved up now. A lot of energy.
Yeah, there's a lot of weakness really in Gumiho's defense, just because he has so few units currently.
Yeah,
and he's blind on this right-hand side. The SCV, though, gives him a heads up, and he will move in time to defend. But if he sieges up in this position, it's going to be unbreakable.
Okay, so gets on top of 1 siege tank. Has to fall back, though, because those 4 on the backside of this rock.
Yeah, this is almost where you put... Oh, no, actually, he's been able to get position here. I didn't think he was going to be able to do this. The Banshees need to do a lot of work here.
That 1 siege tank on the front was really
actually, he should be able to. Well, look at this. There's no Marines, so
Too much air dominance. Too much air dominance.
Good pushback there. Very good pushback, actually.
Yeah, and it's not even like he can save these siege tanks because the Vikings are there, so the medevacs can't come to pick them up.
Yeah.
Lovely pickups here for Gumiho.
Yeah, very nice Gumiho. I didn't even notice that, actually, so very good.
And behind all of this, Bbyong decided, well, 4th base on the way. If you're going to be playing mech, you're going to be playing defensively whilst I be the aggressor. So 4th base is on the cards. But Gumiho's doing well now.
Yeah, he's in good shape, actually. He's in good shape. So he's just got to be very careful about Dune drops, because that could catch him off guard. But right now, there's not really that much for Bbyong in terms of army size. It's actually Gumiho who's got the lead. Yeah. And Gumiho's going to once again turn to his mech, where you need to kind of get ready for a push out soon.
And this drop is going just before the sensor tower is even set up. Yes, there are 2 Vikings here, and he's positioning his army really nicely.
And a tank, and he's not that far away with the rest of his army.
So he's not too bad. Another sensor tower going to go down probably on his right-hand side.
Yeah, just the medevacs get spotted just as the sensor tower finishes up.
A little bit sad there for Bbyong. But at least he's trying to seize the economic advantage behind all of this on the left-hand side. as it's going to be him that really needs to do the air switch eventually in this game, in comparison to Gumiho. But Gumiho has always been adding on Vikings, a lot of them.
Nice try.
He has no room at all.
It's funny because we haven't really seen mech yet from Gumiho today. I mean, game 1 was over before it started. Game 2 was reverse roles here, but now it's Gumiho's time to play his favorite style here. And coming into game 3, this is the map that decides which player moves on to the Asian finals, right? So a big game here, and Gumiho's got to play his favorite style. He's very good at this. He's played thousands of games as mech, so I'm expecting him to be well-versed in defending different types of moves that Bbyong can throw at him while building up the ultimate army, which is, of course, the goal. Yeah,
I mean, look at his defensive position and posture right now. How are you going to break that? Well, especially with the Sensor Towers giving him full heads up as to where his opponent's army is going to be coming from as well. Very, very difficult to kind of find weakness in this location from Gumiho. This game could go really long if Bbyong doesn't find anything.
Well, he's going to try this. Like I said earlier, you've got to try some ballsy stuff to beat mech.
Yeah.
But there are 3 turrets there. He'll boost past 3 turrets.
Yeah, yes he will.
And he will get towards the back here. But he will also lose every single unit, so his production best be on top. Here we go. Viking's going to soak up the first hit, maybe?
Looks like the one leading the charge. One Thor pops out in the most unfortunate position ever. There's actually 2 Thors with this as well.
Gumiho's pretty fast to react in here.
Yes, he is, bringing back all of his army, but it's kind of funneled in. The Hellbats in the Medivacs were really the big game changer, though, for Gumiho, who eventually will push this back without losing much infrastructure at all.
That was a good defense.
Yeah.
And to be honest, this Bioforce on the right-hand side against 5 tanks is going to be... Actually, it could work. It could work.
It's quite the Bioforce, but he's already been seen by the Sensor Tower,
yeah,
right?
And there's a lot of units coming in to defend. Point defense drone should help a lot here.
Yeah.
He uses his Raven.
Takes down a few of the siege tanks at the front, but by the time they die off, the reinforcements are ready and willing to go.
And to be honest, because of how unsuccessful this was, the counter is so big.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he lost a lot without gaining much, and here it comes, the unstoppable Gumiho force. And this is difficult. Ascan sees desperation of a lift-up.
Run away!
Whatever Vikings he's got left should go left and everything go up.
Yeah.
He's going for a kill. To be honest, there is not a lot here.
Not at all. He has very, very little. The army supply is 124 to 90. Gumiho doesn't technically even have to siege and push up here. He could just keep going, but he's going to play this very cautiously. And bring in some of those units in the Medivacs, bringing those Hellbats straight into the fray. Some of the splash damage actually hits some of the bio from the siege tanks of Bbyong. And this is an absolute death march. How are you supposed to stop this as Bbyong?
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Such power, such raw power behind this. Good defense. All the SCVs coming from the natural as well to hold on, as well as the third base. He might be able to clean up, but severe losses to his economy line as the siege tanks get slowly battered down by Thor and a few SCVs, but such great trades for Gumiho.
Yeah, 57 workers killed now throughout this game. More and more and more are dying off, and there's still units left over here.
Yeah. It's just too much, just too much. Look at the reinforcements as well of the mech just powering on through.
Fancy Thor pick up there at the end, just
nicely done.
Controlling those little units. But this is a position where he's really broke his opponent. Like, he has to walk into siege fire straight away. And Gumiho, through 3 games here, a very cool TvT. Definitely going to try out some builds from this later on. But Bbyong's last stance, and the last stance it is.
There you go. GG. Well played. Gumiho advances on to tomorrow to the Asian qualifiers, and that means there's only 1 spot left.
That's right. So we've got 3. Rain, Solar, and now Gumiho. And we have 1 left. Jadon versus Stats, our last game.
Yes, we do. All right, so we're going to go to a short break, and then when we're back, we'll find out who that final player is going to be. Is it going to be Stats, or is it going to be Jadon moving on to the Asian qualifier tomorrow for the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose?